Here we go then. It's been a number of months waiting for a new season. We had a double-header to end 2023 at the International Circuit Algarve in Portimão. And now, in the neighbouring country, it is time to go racing once again in a new season for the 2024 European Le Mans Series with United from pole position. Listen to the noise. Oh, I've missed this. And down into the first corner goes Philippe Ugran with Matthias Kaiser trying to hang on to his coattails, but he may well lose out. No, Kaiser in the sky blue, I think, has just held on. No, moving down to second position now as Lorenzo Fluxa starts to flex his muscles in that second place car for Cool. And Cool wants to be in second and third as there's an early spin for the number 5 car of RLR M Sport and James Dayson. We haven't yet had the carnage that we had though last year through the first sequence of corners. I don't want to speak too soon. Down the hill into turn 5 we go.
Yeah, did see one of the two Nielsen racing cars run wide at the first turn, has rejoined using that little escape road. Robert Kubica though has made very good early progress here. Philippe Ugran, Lorenzo Fluxa, Matthias Kaiser, Alejandro Garcia at the top 4.
And it was important, I felt there, for Fluxa to gain early progress. He'd obviously been sort of playing that out in his mind maybe last night whilst he slept, and a good charge down the inside to be at least level with Kaiser. And the natural swing from right to left to right again in those first sequence of corners here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, really went in his favour. He is well, I say local, he's from Spain, he's actually from Mallorca, the 19-year-old Spaniard. And Fluxa now wanting to try and pressurise Philippe Ugran, but the initial suggestion is that he's going to struggle to do that. 1.4 seconds is the gap as they stream across the line. So Fluxa running second behind Ugran for United Autosports. Third position, Matthias Kaiser, and then it's Alejandro Garcia in the second Cool car ahead of Sebastian Alvarez for Inter-Europol competition. Yesterday for Proton competition, the LMP2 Pro RLR M Sport
has left the track. Leading car has left the track.
For Michael Jensen, and it's Iron Dames versus Spirit of Race at the sharp end of LMGT3. For the second time this year, we're about to go racing in the European Le Mans Series. It's the 4 hours of Le Castellet, 1 or 2 perhaps going slightly too early in the mid-pack, but it is a good getaway from Paul Lafargue as they head down into Verrerie for the first time. And that wonderful orchestra of 4.2-litre V8 Gibson engine as Johnny Edgar had a bit of a moment coming out of Verrerie, but he controlled it well. There was at least one that straight-lined the S-bend, and now into Virage du L'Hôtel. A few looking for the inside line into Camp Corner, including the Philippe Ugran-driven United Autosports number 22, and there's a spinner in the mid-pack.
The Virage car.
Is it Virage or Panis?
Oh, that's you might be correct. That from that angle, you're absolutely right. Two cars went right wide, by the way, and I think we may have another car off to the inside. You
were bang on. It's Tony Wells in the number 19 Team Virage car, because the 65 Panis car got safely through. Manuel Maldonado is in 10th. We're missing the chicane this year, remember, we did that last year too. So down the Mistral and the full 1.8 kilometres, it climbs up to a crest before going through Senior Corner, and they were side by side entering that part of the circuit, Philippe Ugran with David Heinemeier Hansen, Greg Woodwin.
It is Francois Perrodo that's in trouble. He is tumbling down the order. I think I saw that car off to the inside at just beyond the point where Tony Wells was in trouble. But all cars have come through the next timing area, I think Tony Wells has got himself moving. We'll keep an eye on that.
He's not reached the end of sector 1, and that's pretty much although he could have missed the timing loop, of course, because of the spin. Across the finish line, first of all, the start line is around the next right-hand kick, so they're still waiting for those lights to go out, which they do now, and we're racing for the first time, for the third time in the European Le Mans Series in 2024, and is the 65 going to be able to lead into that first corner? Manuel Maldonado with his arms full into the Tamburello chicane, but he is able to fend off Ryan Cullen and Lorenzo Fluxa for the first time of asking. The 43 does indeed have have to start the race from pit road. So Sebastian Alvarez came down pit lane and will be released very shortly. Lorenzo Fluxa, though, running in third ahead of Matthias Kaiser. But initially, after that great lap yesterday from the 65 and Charles Milesi, his teammate Manuel Maldonado is able to lead in the early stages. Graham Goodwin.
Now, the 43 did get off pit lane, so is at the back of this grid. Can also confirm that John Hartshorn did get the 66 car running, and that is at the back of this field. So all 43 cars in the train as we start the first lap of this fabulous Imola circuit.
And already James Allen's making progress. He's managed to get by, well, obviously John Hartshorn because he was stopped, but Claudio Schiavone has been cleared by the Australian, and the number 30 Duquesne team car should make quick work of many of those GTs. In fact, it's already got by another 5 or 6 of them, but threading their way through the Gresini chicane for the first time, the LMP2 race leaders, Manuel Maldonado, half a second back is Ryan Cullen for Vector Sport, and that car was put spectacularly into third position yesterday by Felipe Drugovich, his Brazilian teammate. By far the best Vector Sport starting position of the year. There's James Allen darting to the right-hand side of Hiroshi Hamaguchi in his Lamborghini, the bright green and black car of Iron Lynx. But it's the green and black car of Duquesne which gets the position down into Rivazza, and there was a lead change in LMGT3, Graham. Gap necessary on the grid. However, the LMP2s are already on the start-finish line. It's always a dramatic start here because you accelerate away for the 4th race of the season and then immediately have to hit the brakes hard. And this is where the tyres are cold and the brakes are cold, and is everybody going to be given sufficient room to get through La Source on this opening stanza down towards Eau Rouge for the first time? The GTs just need to get through in a neat and tidy fashion, and you can hold your breath and say we've had a clean start up until now, which from the whole of the rest of the shenanigans this weekend is a bit of a surprise. But maybe everyone has been read the riot act a little bit in the driver's briefing and needing to behave, because it's a long race, but already some dicing developing. That was Matthias Kaiser having a long look at the inside of Ryan Cullen. Cullen's currently 5th for Vector, and Algarve Pro Racing, the chasing Kaiser car, is in 6th. But it is Johnny Edgar who leads. He's got a clear road of course in front of him. There's more overlapping further back though, Graham Goodwin.
That was an overtake from the 34 Intereuropol competition car. Cracking start from Johnny Edgar. He's away and clear from the Intereuropol car of Sebastian Alvarez, who's grabbed that second place. 37 of Cool Racing, 65 Palace Racing and Vector Sports number 10 in line astern from there. Watching further back down the grid, RLRM Sport are away and clear and retain their pole position start. So does John Phelps, is past Rodrigo Sales. Nielsen Racing lead in LMP2 Pro-Am, and it's Iron Lynx's Hiroshi Hamaguchi with a clean start ahead of Formula Racing Johnny Larison.
Maybe an indication as to how hard John Falb was kicking himself that he missed out on yesterday's pole position. He's made short work of Rodrigo Sales and Giorgio Roda, as you correctly point out, and is now extending the gap to 0.6 of a second at the head of LMP2 Pro-Am. Miguel Cristobal leading in LMP3, having got ahead of Michael Jensen. So Kuhl now lead RLR in the P3s, and Torsten Kratz making good early progress as well. Yes, he's bronze, but he's one of the quickest bronzes out there. So it's not a surprise to see the German from Mönchengladbach making some early passes. And here he comes again. And that's to the inside line of Michael Jensen. The merest of contact into the bus stop chicane at the end of the first lap, but they're all still facing in the right direction.
Christopher clear of that group. Michael Jensen and Torsten Kratz getting involved.
So son of Christian Reed racing with Iron Lynx Proton, and from the front of the pack for the first time this year. How long will the number 9 car stay there? The 65's involved with the championship. We are green in Mugello for 2024, and round 5 of the European Le Mans Series bursts into life. And all of a sudden, the fight is on for the head of the order in LMP2. Are they all going to stop with their cold brakes in time for San Donato? 1 or 2 have gone very wide. There was just a hint of a touch, but amazingly, they're all still pointing in the right direction, and forcing its way through is the 34 car into 3rd position, driven by Clement Novalak. He should make progress in amongst 1 or 2 silvers around him. Jonas Reed, though, is starting to stretch his legs a little bit. That's a gap of maybe 5 or 6 car lengths. 22 car from United Autosport, started by Philippe Ugran, looking for a way by at Matarassi corner, and now they head through the very fast Casanova and into Savelli corner, and the Arrabbiatas are just going to be bonkers when we get mid-stint. Check the tyre temperature is still really coming in at this moment, so it's not a time to risk everything, as now the Grid Motorsport by TF Aston Martin is trying to work its way through, started by Martin Berry. He was third behind the Porsche of Sarah Bovey, but it is still the two-tone green Aston of Racing Spirit of Le Mans and Derek de Boer who leads in LMGT3.
Yep, it is Jonas Reed, and having toughed it out to the apex of turn 1, has managed just to stretch a little bit of gap away from Manuel Maldonado. Neat and tidy first lap here, great to see that. No major incidents to report at this stage. Lap 1 firmly underway, we're about to see the end of that, and we are go for 4 hours.
So settle back. It's all about rhythm now for the first 40 minutes or so if you're in an LMP2 car. Might make 45, because although this racetrack is all about the corners, that on the flip side means it may not be a high fuel burn. Of course, your foot is flat to the boards on the long straight at 1.1 kilometres, but for half of this 5.2 kilometre racetrack, you are turning, whether they be slow, medium or high-speed corners, and the neck muscles really do take punishment. It's been quite a wait. It's been 7 months of racing, but those 5 red lights are about to indicate that the European Le Mans Series finale for 2024 is green, is go, and already a jump to the midfield there for the yellow-fronted into Europol competition car number 43, but it's a good getaway from Manuel Maldonado, side by side in behind, and that means that Lorenzo Fluxa loses a spot to Gabby Aubry, who is up to 2nd position. Do all the LMGT3s get through turn 1 for the first time of asking? A bit of give and take, and that is necessary in such a long race with some awkward corners, natural pinch point in 1, 2 and 3 and 4 to get all the cars through when they're not really ready for racing. It takes maybe 2/3 or a full lap for everything to get up to temperature. The cars are moving around on the road, but now there's going to be a lead change, and we barely had a sector. Is there around the outside will go Gabby Aubry, and now there's a spin and a big hit for the 34 into Europol competition car of who's in the 34? Not Alvarez.
Ollie Gray.
Ollie Gray. And who hit him? That was a GT car, wasn't it, that had nowhere to go?
That was the 51 car, and it is damaged. That hopefully could just be a no section for the Inter-Europol car. There might be debris down there which might have another part to play here, but Gabby Aubry, hungrier than a husky that's not been fed for 5 minutes in the 51 car, has gone not much further.
That's surely related to the damage that was picked up by Charlie Samani, who was all smiles during the qualifying session yesterday. A big fist pump for the camera, I remember, on Friday, but now strewn in the gravel trap. So 51 and 34. 34 is still ticking off the sectors, but Samani may cause our earliest neutralisation unless he can get it out of the gravel trap. Not seeing a second sector time for that 51 Ferrari.
It's going to be a virtual safety car, Johnny. That's going to be coming in about 30 seconds. Talk about what that means as and when the field is brought under control.